So hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Footy Fridays. And this week we are going to talk about the weekend's games. This week, the week's Champions Leagues. Looking at the Champions League draw that's literally just been done just about an hour ago. Also have a look at the England squad that was announced yesterday to see whether or not we sort of not necessarily predicted it, but just to see what yeah, definitely. But just to see what ours looks like compared to Southgate's one. I know this England squad isn't set in stone for the Euros, but it's a good starting point for it. Let's just jump into the episode. So we're just going to start off weekend's games. Nothing much happened on Saturday. Leeds, Chelsea 0-0. Crystal Palace beat West Brom 1-0. Everton lost to Burnley 2-1. Good goals in that game though. The Everton game.
Mm-hmm. Dwight McNeil, top corner.
Yeah. City beat Fulham 3-0. Was it going to happen? Then moving on to Sunday, Brighton beat Southampton 2-1. The second goal was a good, well-worked team goal. Leicester beating managerless Sheffield United 5-0. Just shows you what impact it had on them.
Mm-hmm.
And then really the two big games of the weekend were Arsenal versus Tottenham. Arsenal beating Tottenham 2-1 with a Lamella. I don't know how Lamella managed to do what he did.
He did that in a Champions League or Europa League game. A few years ago, didn't he? On the edge of the box.
Applewell?
Yeah, I think so. And yeah, he Rabona'd it on the outside of the box.
Yeah.
I mean, he's the sort of player that I think could have been so much better than he's shown over the last few years. He's definitely got that potential. Anyone that can try that in a game more than once and he score from both times. I mean, he has potential. He had the potential, I think, when he joined or whilst he was at Roma to probably be really good quality. Probably not world class, but really good quality. And I mean, since he's joined Tottenham, he's been a bit part player, and over the last sort of few months, he's been a bit more involved.
Yeah, like you said, he has shown promises, but obviously, he's not really lived up to the hype, I would presume.
He really lacks discipline as well, not just in that game, but when you saw, I think last season when Martial got sent off.
Yeah,
this season when Martial got sent off because Lamella pushed him, like elbowed him in the face, then Martial reacted. He really does lack discipline. I think if he was included in the team more often, I think they'd see a lot of good things to come from him.
Yeah, like you touched on the discipline there. He got himself sent off. Like he got his first yellow card. The first yellow card was for the follow through of the challenge. It wasn't necessarily for the challenge itself.
Mm-hmm.
However, I think it was 10 minutes, maybe even 10 minutes after, gets yourself sent off. Why would you do that?
Again, it's just lack of discipline. Jose Mourinho would have told him, "Don't do anything stupid." But you can see you're going to talk about Balotelli, aren't you?
Yeah.
I was just thinking about that in my head.
Yeah, because it was like you just mentioned about Mourinho. I think it was it a Champions League game or something like that? Or it was a big game,
So.
And he didn't have any strikers on the bench, and Balotelli was on a yellow card, and he spent like 14 minutes of the second half telling Balotelli to calm down. You don't need to get yourself sent off, and then he go for the second half, and I think a minute into the second half he gets himself sent off.
Yeah. Again, with Balotelli, when he was at City, he sort of shot himself in the foot with being very arrogant, doing the things he did in his personal life. He could have been a world-class player. When he was at Inter Milan, he looked like he could be really promising. And even at City, he was really quality.
Well, he was a golden ball nominee, weren't he? In 2010.
I thought you were going to say winner then. I was like, I think that was
No.
Goetze, maybe?
Yeah.
But yeah, he had all the potential. And if he'd have carried on at City when he first joined, it could have been, he could have been one of the best strikers in the world. But yeah, after that, he only really showed glimpses. Like when he was at Nice, he showed glimpses of what he could do. But then, like now he's at Brescia or not even
Monza,
Brescia, someone else. Yeah, in Monza, that's it. in Serie B with Kevin Prince Boateng, and it's just like,
Yeah.
could have done much more. Even Kevin Prince Boateng as well, like.
Yeah.
But yeah, just lack of discipline. People sort of let stuff get to their heads.
Yeah, let's now bring it back to Tottenham. Obviously, the Odegaard goal was a good goal.
Yeah, he's been stepping up for them recently. I think he scored in their last game as well, didn't he?
Yeah.
I think he scored 2 or 3 goals this season for them.
Yeah, he's popping up well.
I could definitely see him being a replacement for Ozil if they signed him at the end of the season. I think he shows a lot of potential. He sort of faded off the map a little bit when he joined Madrid because, he was so young. People thought he was ridiculous.
He wasn't even 18, was he, when he signed for Real?
I think he was 16 when he joined Madrid.
And then he's been on loan ever since.
He's been on loan for Vitesse, Herenveen, I think. And somewhere else. Real Sociedad, yeah. And then last season he played a little bit for Madrid. But I think, he sort of surplus to requirements there, unless they are really going to use him in the future. And this is just for more experience at a top level.
Yeah,
but he seems to be doing well.
It says here that he's going to go back to go back from on his loan.
Because how old is he? 20.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you look at that Arsenal midfield. You've got Thomas Partey, you've got Dani Ceballos. Oh, 22.
Even still, though.
Dani Ceballos and Thomas Partey, which is averaging, 25?
Yeah.
24, 25.
See,
it's a good midfield. It's just...
Yeah, it's just a shame that the only people that are really in that midfield that they own, well, the only person is Thomas Partey.
Yeah.
Because both Ceballos and Odegaard are on loan, aren't they?
Mm-hmm. Both from Madrid.
Yeah.
Yeah. They do need to... I mean, I know they've been linked with that Bissouma from Brighton this season, but when you look at Ceballos from Madrid, Odegaard from Madrid, and now only on loans, and then you're talking about buying a player from Brighton, it's a bit like you should be reaching higher than that. I know he might be good, he has looked quite decent, but he's not. If Arsenal are trying to challenge for top 4 or within the next 5 years, try and challenge for the title, he isn't the person to try and do that. I don't think.
Yeah, I was going to say, because if you're challenging for titles, you think of big names like, I know Chelsea came into a lot of money in 2003 and things like that, but when you look at it, you look at them and think that was a lot of big names, Essien, Makalele, Robben,
exactly.
Carvalho, Paulo Ferreira. I know they were, at the time they might not have been exactly, world class at the time, but they were very good.
Exactly. You can't, Arsenal, like I said, Arsenal should be reaching higher than that. I get that they're trying to get the odd bargain here and there because he probably wouldn't cost that much. But if they're buying him to be the main focus in their midfield, then they need to be going higher.
You need to be.
There's so many better options there's so many better options. They could go for, I don't know, Loftus-Cheek, I reckon, would probably be all right for him.
Yeah, but he wouldn't. Yeah. Well, he wouldn't. You don't think he'd leave Chelsea for Arsenal?
Oh yeah, true. Yeah, I thought he was at Fulham permanently, but he's not, is he?
No.
Someone I don't know, Hamza Chowdhury or someone.
Yeah,
someone that could play a similar role.
Wilfred, indeed. I know he probably Wilfred. At the moment, Leicester's if you were to go from Leicester to Arsenal, at the moment it's a step down. But you just need someone.
But there's so many other teams that have quality midfielders. You could look at West Ham, and you could say Pablo Fornals. You've got Jared Bowen, who could probably play rather than on the right a bit more in. You've got Wolves. You could get Thiago Neves. Is it Thiago Neves?
Pedro Neves.
No, the midfielder.
Oh,
the one that scored long-range goals.
No, I can't remember his flipping name.
Him anyway.
It is Neves.
Yeah, I didn't think it was Thiago Neves. I don't know if it is.
Ruben Neves.
But Ruben Neves, that's it. Like, even him, he's like, what, 26, 27? He's not ridiculously old, and I think he'd probably be a good person. And he probably would cost...
20, 24.
He's 24?
Yeah.
Jesus. Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, he looks incredible, or shown glimpses of being incredible.
Yeah.
I don't know, Burnley, you've got Dwight McNeil.
Yeah. Well,
there are other options. I don't think Basuma's the person to do it, really.
No, I know what you mean.
Burnley, you've got, what's that? Brownhill. I think I rate him. I think he's pretty good. I like him.
Josh Brownhill?
I think so, yeah. I like him. I think he's decent.
Yeah, I completely agree. It's like, he's
not a bad option, but he's not at the top of a list
of people you could get.
There should be people higher that they could get, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think...
But I suppose that's the case in sort of any situation.
Well, there's a young one from Shakhtar, I think that's where he's from. Marcus Antonio. God. He's... I only know of him because of Football Manager.
We went from talking about Brighton to Shakhtar Donetsk.
I know. I only know about him because of Football Manager.
I don't even slightly know about him.
He's a Brazilian under-21, I think, or under-23, one of the two. And he's tipped to be quite good.
Yeah, Shakhtar have a history with Brazilian players, don't they? Willian, yes. Fernandinho. To name just two. I'm sure Tyson, yeah, he's still there. Alex Teixeira.
Yeah.
He was tipped to join Liverpool, but then he went to China.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if history repeats itself, he could be a decent player. But would you rather take that risk on someone? I think that the problem with Arsenal, I think they don't have many veterans in their team. I think that's what they're struggling with. Yeah, and the veterans that they do have aren't good enough. You've got David Luiz.
Well, if you look at the lineup, if you look at the lineup against Tottenham, Xhaka, Lacazette, Leno, and Luiz. Even Luiz is not really. They've been there the longest that we're all starting.
What do you mean Luiz has been there the longest? He's been there about 2 years.
That's what I mean. Out of everyone else, because I know Saka and Smith. I know Saka and Smith Rowe.
Saka.
Wow. I know Saka and Smith Rowe have been there, since in the academy. But in the first team, they've not been there as long as as Xhaka, Lacazette, and Leno. If you got three players.
Mm-hmm.
That have, El Neni, who was on the bench, he's probably been there he's been there a long time. Bellerin, Holding, Chambers, and Aubameyang. But even then,
Yeah. The three out of the four you've mentioned, the Xhaka, the Lacazette, and the David Luiz, they're just ill-disciplined and they don't come across as leaders. Whereas I think if I was to be the Arsenal manager, who's the captain? It's Aubameyang, isn't it?
Well, it is normally, but obviously for some reason there was disciplinary issues or something. That's what Arteta said. So he dropped him and put him on the bench.
If I was Arteta, I'd just give it to Leno. He seems like he's probably one of their best players this season. They have to rely on him so often, and he seems like a good commanding. Yeah.
Well, and he's
I've just seen the draw for the Europa League, by the way.
We'll get onto that. Don't worry.
Okay.
And Lacazette was given the armband for the weekend, but still, like you said, you give it to Leno because you can see the pitch, you can tell people what's needed.
Yeah.
I never understand why you give the captain to a striker. Because even though
I don't unless go on.
Because even though they're big, a big influence in the dressing room, on the pitch they're not, because how is a striker going to tell a defender what to do?
Yeah, I know.
Because he's miles away up the pitch. You'd have to be shouting.
I think you either give it to the I think you give it to anyone but a striker.
Yeah, I completely agree.
I think a midfielder could do it, a defender could do it, or the goalkeeper.
Yeah.
That's why you tend not to see strikers as captains. Even at teams like Tottenham, Harry Kane's not the captain, it's Hugo Lloris.
Yeah. But then for
Like,
England,
even teams like that.
Harry Kane's the fucking captain.
Yeah, but then again, I don't see who else would be.
Yeah, I mean Maguire.
Nah, I'm good.
But moving on to Maguire's team, United. I know it's a little bit of a odd segue, but it's a segue.
Yeah. They had to rely on a Craig Dawson own goal, but it was a pretty poor game. Nothing really happened of note. They got the goal, they got the points.
West Ham played much better when they took off Noble and Johnson and brought on Lanzini and Benrahma.
Yeah, but I suppose they want to start defensive, and then if they can hold, later on in the game, if it's still 0-0, then bring on the attackers.
Yeah.
They did start, Moyes did go very defensive.
Well, yeah, it was
hence why they didn't have many shots, but...
It was basically a 5-3-2. Just shove everyone behind the ball.
Yeah,
even then it was more of a 5-4-1 because Antonio was out on his own up the top.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Bowen moved to the right.
So he just shoved everyone behind the ball and then just booted it long up. Hopefully Antonio would get on to the end of it.
Yeah, exactly.
And he got him to the end of half time.
Yeah, but they never looked like scoring. They didn't look threatening at all, really. United didn't, to be honest. United had the odd chance, but luckily the own goal sort of helped them.
Well, I think that was more just because of how solid West Ham were. Because obviously they were very, very disciplined in defence.
Yeah, but discipline in defence, you need to be sort of free-flowing in attack, and they just weren't. They're very heavily reliant on Antonio to hold up the ball and Souček to go box to box constantly. But when a team sort of voids that or nulls that, it's very hard to do anything else.
Yeah, the one thing that West Ham are missing is a striker. Because obviously they had Haller, who then packed his bags and went to Ajax.
Mm-hmm.
But
didn't we talk about this right at the start? We were talking about different options they could get and stuff.
Yeah.
There's many options out there, but I mean, West Ham aren't known for spending big money, are they?
No.
So, but even, there's Ivan Toney in the Championship. I know he wouldn't be cheap, but he'd be cheaper than a lot of foreign players.
Well, and he's a proven goal scorer.
Yeah.
At all levels.
Well, other than the Premier League.
Obviously, but all the levels he's been in, he's done really well. Because it's like Villa took when he took a punt on Watkins.
Yeah, Ivan Toney. I think because the last three Brentford strikers have been Neil Maupay, Ollie Watkins, and now Ivan Toney. And I think out of those three, Ivan Toney's the less risky one.
Yeah.
I was looking at the stats for this season compared to the seasons that Ollie Watkins and Maupay got bought by the teams in the top flight. And Ivan Toney scored more goals now than them two did when the season had finished.
So,
So he's in better form technically than them two were when they went to the Prem. But then, because I was thinking about that, he could join probably I suppose a top 4 or 5 team probably wouldn't take him, but he's stupid. You see him playing; he's just running around. He's tall. He's physical. He's fast. He's a really good shooter of the ball.
He's a clinical finisher who looks like a target man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He has multiple traits in him that a lot of people don't have. It's similar to Haaland. Haaland is crazy finishing, a target man, and he's really fast.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm not comparing Haaland to Toney, but
Toney,
I think, could easily do it in the Prem.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, how old is he? I think he's
24, 5.
I'll tell you. 25.
25, yeah. So, I mean, he's not old. He's experienced.
Yeah, 27 goals in the Championship this season, 9 assists.
Yeah, even the 9 assists, he's not just scoring, he's creating as well. And I think other than probably City, United, Chelsea, Liverpool, I think any other team would take him.
Oh, 100%.
I think even Leicester, West Ham, Everton, I think he'd be decent for Everton. I think he'd probably be decent for Villa as well, but then they've obviously just got Watkins. So Leeds maybe. But the teams,
but
I sort of hope he doesn't join teams like Palace because I feel like they'll just do nothing with him.
Yeah. He needs someone that's got a vision going forward, that's always attacking.
Well, Leicester. I think Leicester could do it. He could be the replacement for Jamie Vardy. But then, I know Iheanacho's there, but then we've only really got Iheanacho.
Well,
haven't really got another recognised striker there.
I was going to say Southampton because Ings isn't very reliable. Not necessarily reliable on the pitch, but off the pitch with injuries. And obviously, Shea Adams is only starting to pick up goals here and there.
Yeah, I think he scored like 5 or 6 goals this season.
So,
he could be an option.
Someone like that.
I think, that's a good shout. Probably Southampton, maybe Everton. I think if they hadn't got Josh King, maybe he could have done a job there. But I know it's an odd thing looking at it when you look at 14th place Southampton or maybe West Ham. But if I was him, I'd probably join West Ham. I think if they were interested in him, obviously, he could easily, even if he joined them in the summer next season, if he bagged them 12 goals, that would be crucial. That'd be something they just don't have at the minute.
Well, yeah, because at the end of the day, it's goals coming from anywhere.
Yeah, they got Souček, Antonio. That's the majority of them.
Dawson on a corner.
Mm.
But other than that, there isn't much else coming from him.
No, that's probably 2/3 of their goals. Yeah.
One team that we've seen in the Premier League that have been doing pretty well, and then they've replicated it kind of in the Champions League. Obviously, City beating Mönchengladbach 2-0.
Yeah.
4-0 on aggregate.
Yeah, it was just pretty much a carbon copy of the first game, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was always going to be an easy game for them, really.
Yeah, I didn't think Mönchengladbach this season. They've got hidden talent, sort of like Thuram is pretty good. They've got Stindl, they've got Ginter at the back. They've got Sommer in goal, but the quality throughout the whole team just isn't there. Plie as well, Mbolo. They're sort of players of the past almost. Like Thuram, sort of 2 years ago, was really talked about. Mbolo before the World Cup was like the next big thing. That hasn't really done anything. Ginter, when he was at his brother's at Leverkusen, he's been all right. Sommer's always been okay,
But yeah,
they're a solid team, but yeah.
Those ones that you've named, Mbolo, Thuram, Ginter and all them ones, they're the ones you used to sign on like FIFA 15 to be wonder kids.
Mm-hmm. Mbolo was always the one that you'd sign because he'd be like 16 playing for Basel at the time. He scored like double figures in the league. Yeah. I think he's still not even that old. I think he's something like, wait, let me have a look. Mbolo.
24.
Oh, there you go. 24 years old. And he's been around for what seems about 8 years.
Yeah. That's what I mean. It's like, the team is full of the team is full of people that have been talked about of being the next big thing, but have never shown it.
Yeah.
Other than, they have shown it before they were talked about, but after they've been talked about, that was it.
Yeah. Mbolo's got 8 goal contributions in 22 games of the season, so not the worst, but not what you'd expect. He's only scored 3 times in 22 games.
Yeah. And it also doesn't help with Mönchengladbach. The coach, obviously the manager's leaving at the end of the season to go join Dortmund.
Mm-hmm.
So, he's not... I know he will still be wanting to fight, but even though it kind of seems like, oh, he's not really that bothered, you know.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Because
if that happens, go on.
They were doing really well in the group stages. You know, they beat Real.
Yeah, they did.
I think they topped the group, didn't they?
Yeah, I don't think Madrid did. No, I think Mönchengladbach did. Yeah.
Oh no, the second.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah, because City topped the group, so that's why they played each other.
They're doing half decent in the league as well. They're only 10th.
Yeah. They are doing pretty well, but it's like I said, it's all of a sudden it's just suddenly come to a stop.
Yeah.
Considering they were talked about to be, not necessarily Champions League winners, but they were talked about to win the league. Mm-hmm. The first, take Bayern off the top for the first time in God knows how long. But it wasn't meant to be, obviously. City move on to the next round.
Yeah.
Another team that's moving on is Real Madrid, beating Atalanta 3-1 on the night. 4-1 on aggregate.
Again. Yeah, I don't think that was much of a surprise. Seems like we talk about Atalanta every time. Sort of their run of form last season in the Champions League, and then this season, they always seem to do quite well in the Champions League, but they always seem to come up against. They never seem to have an easy run. And Real Madrid, if they'd faced Real Madrid last season, they might have had a chance, but this season, no. Real Madrid just looks strong and confident. And Atalanta.
If they'd have had them maybe earlier on in the season, they might have had a better chance because they weren't picking up results in the Champions League.
Yeah, but that doesn't happen like that, does it?
No.
The current form, Madrid look strong.
Yeah.
I don't think strong enough to win the Champions League, but strong.
Yeah. They're not like you said, they're not favourites, but you can't argue with them. You can't argue with them if they do go further.
Yeah, definitely.
Then moving on to one of the favourites, which was on Wednesday night, Bayern Munich versus Lazio, beat them 2-1 on the night, 6-2 on aggregate. The damage was already done, doesn't really matter.
Yeah, exactly. The scoreline doesn't reflect how dominant Bayern have been over the two legs. Bayern obviously knew that they had a pretty sizable gap. They had a good 4-1 over them. So they knew that, they didn't have to be on top of the game. They just had to go out there and sort of do the job for 90 minutes, and that's what they did. And they still came away with a victory. So,
yeah, and I know, they rested Neuer. They rested not necessarily some key players, but they took some of the big names off. Lewandowski at the end. Muller, Kimmich, Goretzka, Boateng. Obviously, they rested Neuer. So they already knew it was done and dusted.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I think they're probably one of the favourites to win the whole competition, to be honest.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. It wouldn't surprise me if you do end up seeing him lift the trophy at the end of it.
Yeah,
because they've got a very, even though there are big names in that squad, Lewandowski, Neuer, Sade, Boateng, Alaba. It's big names and a well-rounded squad.
Yeah, 100%. Their first team is pretty much amazing, and then they've got good backups.
Yeah.
With experience. Like, people laugh at Choupo-Moting, but if you take away his time at Stoke, he was already good in the Bundesliga before he went to Stoke. He scored some crucial goals for PSG, and now he's at Bayern Munich.
Yeah.
Take away Stoke, he's not a laughingstock.
No. It just happens that he was at Stoke. All good players.
Like Shaqiri, people don't laugh at him. And look where he is.
I was going to say, people don't look at Shaqiri and think, oh, he used to play at Stoke. They look at him and think...
Now they think he's a Premier League winner, a Champions League winner.
Well, he's like...
What Choupo-Moting is.
Is he 3-time Champions League winner? Or 2?
Who, Shaqiri?
Yeah. Is it 2?
I'm not sure if he was at Bayern Munich when they won the Champions League. He might have been. I think it's 2 because he wasn't at Inter Milan. If you're on about Inter Milan, he wasn't there when they won the Champions League.
Right. So maybe it's 2 then. 2-time
Yeah,
Champions League.
I think it's 2.
And like we said, Bayern Munich got a very well-rounded squad. They, like we said, it wouldn't surprise me if they end up in Istanbul lifting that trophy. The question is, will Chelsea be there to be with them? Because obviously Chelsea beat Madrid 2-0.
My answer to that is no.
But Chelsea did play. They played good. They were good. They needed what they need. They did what they needed to do. But one thing I've got to talk about is that the red card for Savage. Oh my God, that was pure shithousery from Antonio Rudiger.
No.
Oh, when I saw it on the highlights, I was like, "What's going? Why?" It was such a stupid. Why? First of all, for Savage, why would you do that? Second of all, for Rudiger, why would he do that?
What did he elbow him or something?
Yeah,
No.
So there's a call. So it's like the 81st minute. Are you watching it now?
Yeah. Go on, you talk for it, and I'll just have a look.
Yeah. So 81st minute. There's a corner for Atletico Madrid. Stefan Savic is in the box. He's with Rudiger's marking him. I don't know whether Rudiger he's pushing him and things like that. Savic then elbows him, but elbows him in the chest, like in his solar plexus, and then Rudiger goes down holding his throat to signify that he elbowed him in the throat, and then Savic gets sent off for it.
Wow.
No VAR, no VAR or anything.
Yeah, it's an odd one. Yeah,
However,
it doesn't make sense. I mean, it is a red card if he's elbowed him, but it's an odd reaction from Rudiger to go down holding your throat. I mean, he'll get red carded even if you just hold where he hit you. Yeah. So I don't know why you have to hold your throat. It's like the throat is more dangerous than the sternum.
Yeah.
If anything, the sternum's more dangerous. But yeah, it's an odd one. Obviously, it looks like a joke because I don't know what Savic is protesting about because he's literally just elbowed someone in the chest.
Yeah.
But Rudiger, laughing after is ridiculous.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's football. People dive all the time. He did get fouled, but the way he reacted is theatrical. But then players diving all the time is theatrical, and people don't call them out on it as much. So you can't blame Rudiger. It's Savage's mistake. If Savic didn't want to get sent off, he should never have done that.
Well, yeah, because I think I think it was, I can't remember who it was that said it, but obviously the way the referees see it, obviously if it was a VAR because VAR was there, if the fist is closed, then it's an obvious then it's a deliberate elbow. If your hand's open, it's not necessarily deliberate. Because obviously,
I get that because you're not going back with force. You sort of clench your fist to go back with force when you're elbowing someone.
Yeah.
To generate power. Yeah. So I get that.
If it was VAR, which it didn't go to VAR anyway, you said he would have been sent off anyway.
Yeah, even if it went to VAR and they saw that Rudiger held his throat and not his chest, I mean, I couldn't see anything else other than still a red card.
Yeah.
Because he still did it. But yeah, I mean, Chelsea through, pretty convincing win. Atletico, not really testing them, to be honest.
It just wasn't. It wasn't quite the Atletico performance that we've seen from in the league.
Yeah. I think they're lacking something up front. I know they've got Suarez, but he's an aging striker, very experienced in the Champions League and the Liga. But they said he hasn't scored in 25 consecutive away Champions League games. Which I thought was an odd stat.
They need someone who's about between 25 and 30, who's got relative experience in the Champions League to partner Felix? Because obviously Felix is 22.
Yeah. No, I think he might be
21.
younger than that. Yeah.
He's
I'm trying to
21.
think. Let me try and think of someone.
So you just need someone who's in a, even if it's not.
Depay.
Yeah. I would,
someone.
he's got plenty of experience at Champions League or even at top level.
Yeah.
And he's still got time left to. I know he's not at his peak, but
No.
he's literally like maybe 2 steps and he's at his peak.
Yeah. He's close to being like one of the top players. Poulsen, maybe from Leipzig.
Yeah.
Possibly. He's obviously a lesser option, but I think Depay, and that would be a step up from Lyon to Atletico.
Oh yeah, especially now.
Yeah, exactly. So he'd be a decent shout. Yeah, he's done it in the Champions League. He's good in the league. He's got experience with Lyon going quite far, with Man United in the Europa League if they went into that.
Yeah. And obviously Chelsea scored the 94th minute. Fun fact about that 94th minute was Emerson's first touch of the ball.
That was crazy. Did you see the Kante, what he did as well when he ran from box to box just for a dummy run?
Yeah.
I thought that was crazy. 90 minutes, playing for 90 minutes, running around, and then doing a 100-meter fucking run in about 8 seconds to dummy a pass just so they can score.
Yeah.
Shows the great IQ of him.
Yeah, he's a great player. His football brain is incredible. And he's able to make passes and things like that and do runs like that to take away defenders. Another thing about that goal was Super Six. There was a person literally was minutes, no, actually even seconds away from winning the $250,000, and then Emerson goes and scores, which then takes it away from him.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah.
I bet he felt happy about that.
Yeah, it'd have been even worse if he was a Chelsea fan. Because it's the mixed emotions of Chelsea have scored and gone through, or I've lost $250,000.
That's crazy. £250,000.
Yeah.
Wow.
All because of one goal.
By someone who never scores.
Yeah. And then let's have a look at the Champions League draw.
Mm-hmm.
So Chelsea have got Porto.
Yep. Are we predicting now, or are we just going through them?
We'll predict them as well as going through them. We'll do them both. Why not?
Okay, why not?
Yeah, why not? Obviously, like I said, Chelsea got Porto. It's a very even match game, but I still see Chelsea coming out on top.
Are we doing like aggregate score?
If you want.
Okay. I'll say.
I think Porto will score.
Yeah, I was going to say possibly 3-2 on aggregate to Chelsea.
Yeah,
I think they might draw one, and Chelsea will win. Either.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I'd say 3-2 as well, because Porto's got goals in them, obviously, because you saw against Juventus. But I
think there's a ceiling to how far they could go.
Yeah,
They're not like they're underdogs, obviously, but I think there's other underdogs in this. Like, I think Real Madrid are an underdog, Borussia Dortmund are an underdog.
well, especially in the draws they've got, because obviously Real Madrid got Liverpool. I see Liverpool winning this one.
I don't know. I'll say Madrid, just because of wishful thinking, but also I think Liverpool, although they did beat Leipzig, they haven't scored, stupid amounts of goals. And I think if Madrid turn up and play their best side, Benzema can pick apart their defence, especially if they've still got significant injuries. And the Real Madrid midfield is a level above Liverpool's. The only thing that is a bit worrying for Madrid is probably their defence and potentially their wingers. But then again, Liverpool haven't got their defenders they'd want.
Yeah, but for me, I think Liverpool win it, but I don't think it would be like, I don't think it'd be massive scoreline. I think it might be like 2-1 maybe on aggregate. It'd just be one of those.
I'll say 3-1 to Real Madrid on aggregate. I think it could be like a 2-0 or a 1-1 or maybe a 2-1 to Madrid, and then they win the second one 1-0 or something.
Yeah, it's not going to be. I don't think it's going to be super crazy scoring games.
I say Real Madrid.
Okay. Now, you mentioned the other underdog, or you think it's an underdog anyway. Borussia Dortmund. They've got City.
I think this is sort of Dortmund's exit. I don't see Dortmund with the team Dortmund have, the playmakers they've got going forward and the finishers. Obviously, they're quality, but Man City are far too good at the moment to really worry about Borussia Dortmund. Borussia Dortmund should be quite an easy task to win against.
Yeah, completely. Yeah, they're very solid defence as well. Man City, they're very. You've seen the likes of John Stones come back to the England squad because of his form that he's had in the league recently. So there has been a good form for them. So I would only expect them to carry this on. I do think that Dortmund will be a test for them because obviously the people they've had in the Champions League at the moment haven't been massive. They haven't been this is going to be a complete difference in their opponents.
Mm-hmm.
So I think City will win it, but I think it won't be as one-sided as maybe some people think.
No, I don't think they'll score loads of goals. I think maybe they'll draw one, and I think City will win the second one. So I'll say 4-2 on aggregate.
I was going to go 3-2.
Okay.
And then some of the bigger game, Bayern Munich versus PSG.
Mm-hmm.
That's a copy of last year's final. I think the favourites.
The result will. Mm-hmm. I'm happy that them two got put together against because I always like seeing someone different win the Champions League.
Yeah.
But I think the result isn't going to change from last year. I think Bayern Munich, although PSG are really good, I think Bayern Munich are just too solid, and I think it'll be quite a convincing victory. So I think 3-1 on aggregate. To be fair, I think it'll be quite a convincing one. What was the score last year?
It was 1-0. Was it 2-0?
1-0 because Kingsley Coman scored.
Oh yeah. Yeah, because he scored in like the 80-odd minute, didn't
he? Yeah.
He made it because he came off as a sub, didn't he?
I think Bayern Munich 3-1 on aggregate.
I think I agree with you on.
Cheers.
So, because with you and all your knowledge.
Oh, my knowledge. Guessing, you mean?
Yeah, and then a touch quickly on the Europa League. Arsenal are through, beating Olympiacos 3-2 in aggregate, despite losing on the night 1-0. United are through, beating Milan 1-0 on the night, 2-1 on aggregate. Rangers are out, losing to Slavia Prague 3-1 on aggregate, 2-0 on the night. And they're not necessarily the big shock, but a big result for them. Dynamo Zagreb beating Tottenham 3-0 on the night, knocking them out of the Europa League 3-2 in aggregate.
Yeah, that Orsic had a stupid game. His first goal right to the top corner, second goal good, third goal, it was. They just got outclassed Tottenham. They had opportunities, they didn't finish them. Their keeper was outstanding, made a good handful of saves. And it just wasn't in Tottenham's favour. Dynamo Zagreb knew what they had to do, did it, and they're through to the next round. Yeah,
and there was, like you said, Tottenham had chances, but it just never happened for them. When you come up with Dynamo Zagreb was a case of they've got nothing to lose, let's just go for it.
Exactly.
So there was no, for them, it was like, there was no brainer from, just go for it. If it happens, it happens.
Yeah, exactly. They just had to go for it, and that's what they did. And Orsic is the figurehead of that team, and he took it into his own hands, scored the 3 goals in their 3.
Yeah.
Easy as that.
And then you've got the draw for the next round.
Yep. So have you seen it or not?
I've seen bits of it.
Okay, so the first game is Granada versus Manchester United.
Okay. I think that one's in United's favour.
Yeah, so do I. The second game, which I think will be quite a good game, is Arsenal versus Slavia Prague.
That'll be an interesting game.
The third game is Ajax versus Roma.
That one's a juicy one.
And then the fourth and final game is Dinamo Zagreb versus Villarreal. So again, like the Champions League games, which are quite evenly mixed, so are these ones.
Yeah. I mean, maybe United Granada, maybe more in United's favour.
Yeah, I think. United. Yeah, I think they. Who did they just beat? Milan and Sociedad were probably both harder than Granada.
Yeah.
So I think Granada's probably an easier game for them than the 2 knockout games they've had so far. But, Granada, they knocked out Mold recently. They lost their game the other day to them. So
2-1. They lost 2-1. Yeah, they lost 2-1 on the night, 3-2. They beat them 3-2 on aggregate.
Mm-hmm. So United should be pretty confident. I think if United would have got pretty much anyone else, they could have been a little bit worried. But I think Granada's probably the team that anyone wanted to face at this point.
Yeah. And then Arsenal getting Slavia Prague. Slavia Prague have looked very good.
Yeah. And I think they have the ability to expose some of Arsenal's weaknesses, like Olympiacos did last season.
Yeah.
Olympiacos almost did it again this season, but last season they really exposed some of the problems with Arsenal, which Arsenal have somewhat fixed. So I think Slavia Prague might be able to do it. I think potentially it will be close over the 2 legs, but I think Arsenal will probably just take it by maybe a goal.
I know it's the Czech Republican League, but Slavia Prague currently unbeaten in the league.
Yeah.
So, that's not. I know in any league, it's a hard thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
It was just I think it'll be harder than Arsenal fans and Arsenal players will think.
Mm-hmm. I think that in the first game Arsenal might struggle, but then in the second game they might sort of realise what they're up against.
Yeah. Yeah. Who'd you say Ajax is playing? Roma?
Ajax versus Roma, yeah.
I think that'll be quite, like you said, an evenly matched game. Could be swung either way. Roma beat Shakhtar 5-1 on aggregate, 2-1 on the night. Mm-hmm. Ajax beat Young Boys 5-0, 2-0 on the night. So, they've both got good quality sides.
It's too hard to predict because you look at the Roma side and they've got Pau Lopez, they've got Chris Smalling, Fazio, they've got Dzeko, and then you look at Ajax and they've got, I was about to say Onana, but they have another. They've got Tadic,
Neves,
they've got Klassen.
Neves.
Yeah, you're right, Neves.
Neres.
Sorry.
Not Neves, yeah. Neres.
But yeah, again, like that, they've got good, solid players throughout. I think Ajax will win on aggregate just because I think over the last sort of 18 to 24 months, they've had a lot more experience in Europe of going the distance. I know Roma's been in the Champions League and Europa League, whatever, but they don't have a history of over the last 2 years of going the distance, where obviously Ajax 2 years ago made the Champions League final. And then last season, where did they get? I don't remember. But they've at least been in the final in the last 2 years. So I think and although they sold a lot of the players from that, they still have, Tadic being the captain is sort of a bit of a nutter and will definitely I can imagine him going around the dressing room sort of slapping people in the face, sort of getting them up for the game.
I know we said before we shouldn't give a captaincy to an attacker, but he's probably the one where it works.
Yeah, he's definitely. Yeah, but then he does play as a midfielder sometimes.
Yeah, true.
So, but I think in that team, they needed someone like him because, especially during the year where they made the final, who was the captain then? It wasn't him because
was
he'd
it
only
Delict?
just joined. Blind.
Oh yeah, no, it might have been Blind.
Blind. They've still got Blind, so
Yeah.
Blind, Tadic. I was going to say Veltman, but he's joined Brighton. But I mean, they've got solid players. Even with all the sales they made, they've still got solid players. And
then
so I'd say Ajax over both legs.
Yeah, I completely agree with you there. But like I said, I think it'll still be a tough one. But
definitely,
I think Ajax will come out on top. There's not much to talk about over the weekend because obviously it's the FA Cup this weekend.
Do you forget about Dinamo Zagreb and Villarreal?
I don't really know much about them, I'll admit.
Oh, fair.
I don't know much about either team. Obviously, I know Zagreb beat Tottenham yesterday, and the manager's in jail. I know that. A fraud. And that's about all I know, to be honest with you.
I know Villarreal have got Gerard Moreno up front, who, when they won the other day, I think he scored 2 or 3 of the goals.
Are you still playing Carlos Bacca? Jesus.
Yeah, he still plays for him.
He's not really. He's played 17 games, scored 1 goal. Flipping Danny Pereiro as well. Forgot about him too.
Capoue.
Yeah.
Funes Mori, Raul Albiol. They've got a good side.
Johan Foyth from Tottenham.
Yeah, the one that was at Tottenham.
Asensio, yeah.
They've got a good, to be fair, they've got a better side than I thought.
Yeah.
And it's experienced.
Yeah, there is quite a few experience. There's quite a few players that I recognise. Like Alcacer, they've got obviously.
Haven't they got Santi Cazorla as well?
No, I think he retired, didn't
he? Did he? Well, you must be right, in on the bench. Fair enough.
Yeah, I thought he retired.
They got Alcacer as well, the one that used to play for Barca.
Yeah. Yeah, he's retired.
That's fair enough. But yeah, I think this game, I think Villarreal probably take it.
Flipping heck. Raul Albiol.
Yeah, Napoli legend,
Jesus.
Real Madrid legend. Yeah. Funes Mori ex-Everton, Raul Albiol ex-Madrid. Capoue ex-Tottenham.
Yeah, there's a lot of good players there actually.
Yeah.
It's probably Villarreal to win that one.
Fair enough. Yeah, I think Villarreal too, to be honest.
I know Zagreb have gone. They've got good. I know they've got good hopes coming into the game, but I just think the experience of some of the players from Villarreal will just shine through. And
it was kind of a fluke that they beat Tottenham the way they did.
Yeah. So they just needed one person to turn up, really.
Villarreal might be an underdog in the Europa League.
Yeah. Cool. Now moving on to the weekend. Obviously, so it's the FA Cup. So you've got Bournemouth versus Southampton. Southampton to win. Yep. I don't really see it any other way. Everton City to win.
Yeah.
Then you got Chelsea versus Sheffield United in the FA Cup. Chelsea to win.
Yeah.
Tough game of Leicester versus United though.
Yeah, that's probably the only. Well, you said that and Everton City. I think City will win, but Everton will put up a fight. Yeah. But I think Leicester United. Jesus Christ! I think United will win.
See, I'm going to say Leicester only because you said United.
Brilliant. Great.
No, I just think that I know Leicester want to be going for top 4, but they see the FA Cup as a chance of silverware.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas United might see silverware as the Europa League.
I think, to be honest, they'll take any sort of silverware under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer just because they're desperate. Well, not they're desperate, but he'll definitely want to sort of write his name in history with the club.
Oh yeah, because Last season it was 3 semi-finals, wasn't it?
Yeah, lost all of them.
So, hopefully he'll want to get one step further. But I think Leicester obviously put up a fight, and I think Leicester might win it.
I hope you're wrong.
I know you do. But there are Premier League on Sunday. West Ham versus Arsenal. I think West Ham to win.
Oof. I'll go with a draw. I'll go with 1-1.
I think West Ham win it 2-0.
Oof, convincing.
Aston Villa versus Tottenham.
Ooh.
It depends on
games.
Yeah, it depends on how Tottenham deal with the Europa League.
I'm trying to think in my head. That's making me question everything. I'll say 2-1 to Aston Villa. Nah, I don't think that's going to happen though.
I say 1-0 Villa.
I'll stick with 2-1 Villa. I don't know.
Like I said, I think it all depends on how they take the Europa League.
I'll change West Ham Arsenal to 2-1 West Ham, and then I'll change Aston Villa Tottenham to 1-1.
Right.
Switch them around.
Yeah, I think Villa win only because, like I said, I think the Europa League will still be in Tottenham's mind, and I don't think they'll be able to focus on it as much.
Right, fair enough. Yeah.
And Villa obviously have had plenty of time to relax and get ready for the game.
Yeah.
I know they're without Jack Grealish still. I don't know whether he's what he's like, whether he'll be fit or not.
I don't know whether he's back or not. But I think they've been doing okay without him. Obviously, he's a massive, important player, but I think they've been doing okay without him. And Tottenham, even without Jack Grealish, aren't the most intimidating side.
Yeah.
So I think even without him, they could still get a result if Bertrand Traore and Jesus.
Is it El Ghazi?
El Ghazi, Trezeguet. Yeah, players like that. If they turn up, they'll easily be able to score a couple of goals.
Yeah. Obviously, with Grealish being injured, he didn't make the England squad.
I like your transitions; they're brilliant.
Oh, listen, it's coming freely now. We've been doing this for a long time now, so it's coming free now. Grealish has been injured, not been in the England squad. Another player that's injured, Pickford.
Yep.
So that impacts the England squad. The England squad was announced yesterday, I believe.
Yep.
They've got they've got.
It's an interesting team.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. It's an interesting side.
Definitely players that shouldn't be in there.
You got 3 goalkeepers of Dean Henderson at United, Sam Johnstone at West Brom, Nick Pope at Burnley. To be honest with you, I couldn't see any other there isn't any other English goalkeepers that would challenge those 3 at the moment.
No, there's a handful of other players. There's Aaron Ramsdale, there's Alex McCarthy, and probably Jack Butland. But
they haven't really challenged.
Not really. Sam Johnstone probably was especially from this season, has been the goalkeeper that is the replacement for if any of these got injured.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know he's not been in the best side with that West Brom side, but he has looked pretty good at times.
Yeah, he's definitely. I think he's got something like the most saves in the league this season or something. But obviously, that's going to come with the most shots at him or whatever.
Yeah.
With a dodgy defence, you're going to have a lot to do.
Yeah.
But I think Nick Pope would obviously. Pickford was at the top, but now Pope's having to replace him. Henderson will be second, and Johnson will be third.
Yeah. It's a good setup for those goalkeepers, obviously, because I think Henderson's not that old, is he?
Henderson's like 23.
But then again, Pickford's not that old.
Sam Johnston's older than Dean Henderson.
Yeah, I know that. I know Sam Johnston's like 28 or something like that. Eh? I don't know.
28.
I don't know.
Oh wait, no, you're right. You're right. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, I think you're right because I think he was in the same team as Jesse Lingard and like Ravel Morrison and Pogba and stuff. Jeez, yeah, that's mad. That's crazy. I just realised that. Yeah, sorry. Go on.
Yeah. And then obviously, you got the defenders. So you got Ben Chilwell, Connor Cody, Eric Dyer, Reece James, Harry Maguire, Tyrone Mings, Luke Shaw, John Stones, Kieran Trippier, and Kyle Walker.
There's about three of them. Two of them I wouldn't have even put in there.
When I'm looking at that, I'm seeing Kieran Trippier, Kyle Walker, and Reece James are right backs.
Mm-hmm.
Chilwell.
But then Walker can play centre back on the right.
Yeah, Chilwell and Shaw left backs. Cody Dyer, Mings, and Maguire, and Stones, all centre backs.
Yeah, but then if you take off the fact that Kyle Walker will probably play, if they play a five at the back, will probably be the right on the three.
Yeah.
So you could say he's a centre back. So effectively, they've got 2 right backs, 2 left backs, and 5 centre backs.
Yeah, I would have taken out.
I don't agree with some of the people they picked, but
I wouldn't have. I would take out Trippier.
Right. Well, yeah, I wouldn't have even brought him. I think his time's gone.
Well, not only that, he's only just come back from a ban.
Well, yeah, for gambling. So, but not even that. There's that as well. But the amount of right backs we've got at the minute, and surely you'd want to give players like Aaron Wan-Bissaka a call up. He's never played for the senior team. You'd want to give.
Well, I don't know whether he's
Lamptey.
But yeah, well, Lamptey's injured, so that would be. I think he would have. I think he would have. I think Lamptey might have been in with a shout if he'd have stayed fit. Obviously, Justin again, James Justin. I think would have been another good shout.
Yeah, that's a good shout. I didn't think about him.
And I don't know whether Wan-Bissaka has decided on his nationality. So I think, if I remember rightly, there was an article saying he was choosing the Democratic Republic of Congo.
I think it was based off of if he had an England cap soon, and I think it was sort of. It's probably been sorted out before, but I mean they're overlooking him, which is ridiculous. They're putting players like Kieran Trippier in over him, and it's ridiculous.
I completely agree with you. You know, Trippier was he was good for one thing, and that was that free kick against Croatia.
He's good for set pieces, but as a right back, he was decent at Tottenham, but at Madrid, what's he done? Like, got banned for gambling. Why would you want someone in your team that does that?
Yeah, it's like you don't necessarily need someone great at set pieces because if you look at the midfield, you've got Mason Mount, James Ward-Prowse, Foden. Just to name a few of them that are good at.
And then you got Marcus Rashford up front. You got Harry Kane
that are good at dead ball situations.
Yeah, exactly.
Moving on to the midfield, you got Jude Bellingham, Phil Foden, Jesse Lingard, Mason Mount, Calvin Phillips, Declan Rice, and James Ward-Prowse.
There's 2 in there that I would never have brought.
Go on.
Jude Bellingham and Calvin Phillips. Calvin Phillips, I don't get why so many people like him. He's so overrated. And Jude Bellingham, gone.
He's a good player because what he basically
I don't get how he gets into that team. I don't understand it.
It's because all he does basically is get the ball from the defence, turns, and puts a pass forwards.
Well, then put Eric Dyer there. Put Eric Dyer into midfield where he plays naturally. Not naturally, because naturally he's centre back, but he can play as a defensive midfielder. And then put a different centre back, get a new centre back. Surely you'd rather, get rid of, say Eric Dyer in midfield and then put Ezri Konsa.
Yeah.
Surely Ezri Konsa deserves a call up.
Especially the time. Well, I know he's not. I know he's old. He's a lot older now. But you might question this because I'm a Rochester fan. But Craig Dawson, defense. You laugh, but he has had a great season.
Yeah, but this this England team has youth to it. You can't have players like Phil Foden, Jude Bellingham, Ollie Watkins, and then just have the reason why big old granddad at the back.
But then the reason why I'd be getting him in because he's older. He's not necessarily he's not a veteran because obviously he hasn't played for England, but he is that kind of. He's like a Gary Cahill kind of figure.
Well, then get Gary Cahill. I'd prefer Gary Cahill over Craig Dawson.
But,
Gary Cahill's like 2 or 3 years younger, and he's got experience. Bring him in.
Yeah, Is it?
You're just a Rochdale fanboy, and you want a Rochdale player to play for England.
Already has done. Already happened.
Get Glenn Murray in.
Ricky Lambert, it happened.
Oh, what, 3 games or whatever?
He scored his first touch against Scotland.
Get Glenn Murray up. Just every fucking English Rochdale player, just get him playing.
But like the thing is, in theory, in reality, James Ward-Prowse isn't going to play, or he will, but he's not going to be playing that much. Lingard probably won't play that much, and neither will Bellingham.
Then why bring him? It's not going to give them any experience. Why don't you just bring, if they're not going to play that much, just bring an older player that doesn't mind sitting on the bench and letting the younger players play? Why bring someone all the way to all these countries just to sit on the bench or maybe get 5 minutes in one of the games? What's the point? There's no experience in that. Yeah,
it's just a bit odd because it's like you said that this England squad has got youth to it, but then it comes to a time when you need a bit more experience.
Exactly. Jude Bellingham, although he plays for Borussia Dortmund and he's looked okay, there's other options as well. Is Sancho injured?
I don't know.
Because if he isn't, why is he not there? I like the attack they've brought. There's 3 midfielders. There's 3 strikers in the front three that are all very different.
Well, the strikers being Calvert-Lewin, Harry Kane, Marcus Rashford, and then you've got Saka, Sterling, and Watkins.
Yeah, for me, there isn't enough width.
Yeah, there isn't. Watkins can play on the wing to cut inside and things like that, and maybe put.
But then you've got like Foden and stuff who could play on the wing.
Yeah.
I think it's a good team, but I think it could have been way better. But then I suppose they are resting, like with injuries. They've got a couple of injuries, and
because you've got Henderson, Pickford. To be honest, I don't know any others.
With what?
Injuries.
I was going to say Trent, but he's not injured, is he?
I know Trent's form. I know Trent's form has not been.
Yeah, but I'd pick him over Trippier.
Oh, 100%, 100%.
That's Trippier's probably at the bottom of the list.
That's the thing. If you wanted someone on set pieces, Alexander-Arnold is your man.
Yeah, exactly. If that's all Trippier's been brought in for, and presumably it isn't, there's presumably something that Gareth Southgate sees that no one else does.
Well, I think it's the option to play left back, but why would you do that when you've got Shaw and Chilwell
who've got 2 left backs
playing natural left back,
who are probably the 2 best left backs in the Premier League in any nationality at the minute.
Yeah,
regardless of England, they're probably 2 of the better left backs in the league at the minute.
Yeah.
Why do you want to bring in a right back who's just come back to play left back? It doesn't make sense. I think this team is good, and there's only a handful of players. When I've seen the England team before, I think, why have they chose this player? Like, I could pick like half the squad is questionable, but I think 4 are probably only questionable for me. I'd say Kieran Trippier, Eric Dyer, Jude Bellingham, and Calvin Phillips. I think everyone else deserves to be in there.
Oh, well, yeah.
But even then, like I can justify picking the players, but I think there's probably better options.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. And like you said, that they're trying to bring youth into it, and that's what they've done with like the likes of Bellingham, Foden. Those kind of like Reece James, Saka, those kind of players.
Mm-hmm.
But then they're giving option. They've given people who do deserve it as well, such as Watkins, Saka. Luke Shaw's come back. Stones has come back.
Mm-hmm.
So Jesse
Lingard's come back.
Yeah, Jesse Lingard's come back. They've shown he's still given the cap. He's going to be giving caps to people who do deserve it as well.
I'm just going to have a look at some England players.
That is what that. To be honest with you, that the left back is the one position that if you were a footballer now in whatever league you were in and you wanted to play for England, just go train as a left back. Just become a left back.
Yeah,
you're almost guaranteed a shoe into the team.
Pretty much, yeah. I've just looked, like Mason Greenwood hasn't made the squad. James Maddison, Harvey Barnes. Harvey Barnes probably is one of the players that probably could have got a call up.
Yeah, well, I don't know what the injury situation is.
Fikayo Tomori is a bit of a shout.
Yeah,
like someone that is, he's been playing for Mason.
Barnes and Maddison are injured.
Right, I can screw that then.
So it's obviously Justin as well. But, like I said, there's plenty of...
Dele Alli?
Ali's been okay. He's not been, what he used to be.
I think, to be fair, I think they got it about right. I think...
Yeah, with injuries and not, some players not exactly playing well, they've picked a decent squad.
Yeah, I think it'll do the job. I mean, the teams they got to face aren't anything special. San Marino,
Poland.
Yeah, Poland's probably the hardest one, and even then it's like Glick, Szczesny, Lewandowski.
Yeah.
There's not a massive amount of talent in that side. They should easily be able to overcome it. But even if they lose that one, they'll beat San Marino, they'll beat Albania. So,
Yeah.
But they're about right. I don't hate the side. So, they've given some good players a chance. I'm happy Sam Johnson's got called up. Jesse Lingard's back. Ollie Watkins is in the side. Saka.
Shaw.
Yeah, obviously Luke Shaw, but he deserved it.
Yeah.
The only players that I would have liked to have maybe seen was probably Ezri Konsa.
One player that he's not. Maybe he's not been. And again, I don't know whether he's chosen another country, but Emerick Eze.
No, I think he is.
He looks promising. I don't know whether he's switched allegiance to Nigeria or not.
Well, maybe that's. I don't know. He's got the potential to. Maybe he was waiting to see if he got called up and then decide. But yeah, I don't know. Wasn't there someone that's just Mikel Antonio? That's it.
Yeah,
he's just claimed citizenship of Jamaica, isn't he?
He's claimed. So he's playing for Jamaica now.
I saw something the other day. I forget who it was, but there was a striker in 2009 that got called up for Jamaica, thinking his dad was Jamaican. It turns out he was from Sierra Leone. I was like, how did they not fact check that? How there's just like, oh, my dad's Jamaican. Okay, you can play for the team. Like, where's the proof? Because
I think surely it's just for them. It's just a case of it's another player. Because if you might as well. Because if you're gonna play, you might as well play. I know you might not be. You might not be Jamaican, but if you've got a chance to play for an international side, why wouldn't you?
Yeah, I know.
Because to be honest with you, if I took football seriously, I could just move to the flipping Caribbean and go play, and then go live there for however long I need to.
Move to San Marino.
You'd have a good
chance.
Move to San Marino. Gibraltar is another one.
Yeah, you'd have a good chance of playing. Thank you.
So, I would if I could, if I took my football seriously when I was 8 or 9, and then you somehow miraculously ended up becoming half decent, moved to the Caribbean, and go and play for St. Lucia.
St. Lucia, the first white person to play for St. Lucia.
Someone like that.
Captain them to an Africa Cup of Nations victory.
Africa Cup of Nations?
What's St. Lucia?
Caribbean. That's North America. That's the Gold Cup.
Oh.
Fucking hell, man. Jesus Christ, learning geography.
Sorry.
But, captain Trinidad and Tobago to the next World Cup.
Yeah, exactly, like Dwight York.
Yeah.
That'd be stupid if we saw that. That'd be hilarious.
But the thing is, though, I know I'm moving away from what we were talking about, but it's the thing of the effect of the what if. Because, if both of us, for example, had gone, proper hell for leather, not necessarily hell for leather, but had gone at football properly.
If I was really healthy.
Yeah. If we were doing it properly, from not necessarily day one, but, from early, who knows where we could have been.
Yeah, I think it's good and bad that people can sort of play for pretty much whoever they want, as long as they can sort of prove that they've got some sort of link to it. I think it's good for them personally, but I think it sort of just makes, not a mockery of like football or whatever, but it's sort of like, oh, you're 1/10 this, come play for us just because England aren't picking you. I think there should be more of a passion and desire to play for the country you want, like Mikel Antonio, who has played for England, like at youth level. I think he has, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Well, you get that a lot. Like they play youth level football and then they just change nationality just because they're not getting in the team. And I think that's a good thing for them because it gives them, opportunities to play for their country. But it just seems a bit odd and a bit weird. I get it at I get it for, I don't know, like Bobby Day Cordova-Reid, who is claimed Jamaican. But then I don't get it for Mikel Antonio and, Aaron Wan-Bissaka and Wilfred Zaha that could have made the England team. But,
yeah, and then like you said, then it goes the other way where it's they've played for another country, youth levels like Rice and Grealish playing for Ireland, and then going to England.
Yeah. I'm happy. I'm happy them two did that. I'm slagging off the other side, but I'm happy them two did that. But I suppose if I was,
Irish,
Nigerian, and I saw Alex Iwobi and, who's the other one? I can't remember. Or from Ivory Coast and Zaha came, you'd be happy. I suppose it's good for the fans of those countries because they want their best players to play and things like that. But I don't know. It seems a bit. I don't know what the problem is, but it seems like there's a problem with it.
Yeah,
I can't put my finger on it.
I know what you mean.
It doesn't seem legit.
Yeah.
I suppose with the amount of like people being from everywhere now, like there's no one. It's rare for someone to be from England 100%, from France 100%, from Africa 100%. So I would do it. Like you say, I've got French. Well, I've got French, English, and Irish. So the best chance I'd have is probably Republic of Ireland, and even then, it's probably not easy.
Do you want me to tell you mine?
English. North Korea.
Just English. I swear. Really? I promise. I might be wrong, but literally, I've got cousins in Canada, but they're not blood. Like they're not blood related. See. I just think I'm not sure what they are, but I'm not going to get flipping Canadian citizenship just because I've got cousins in Canada.
Well, go play for Canada. Wait, what about? I've got my grandma's sister. So my mum's cousins are, I think, from New Zealand.
Right.
Could I join? Could I play with Chris Wood up front?
I don't know. Let's just see what the rules are.
As well, I've got a pretty obscure one. Right, if I wanted to. So their dad is from Malaysia.
That's a very interesting one.
So my mum's uncle is Malaysian. So could I apply to join the Malaysia national team? I wouldn't know what they're saying, and I couldn't communicate with them. But I'd stay in goal and try and keep out a few shots.
So, right, okay. Players can now switch national teams provided they were eligible to represent a second country at the first time they played for the first country, even if they played in an official competition for the First Nation.
Right.
So,
I mean, I'm guessing it can't go that far and that many links, but
I'm just trying to see what family members it is.
I mean, I'm guessing because he would be my great.
The previous rules stated that the players who were not born in the territory and had no parents or grandparents born in the territory of a country they hold for nationality, they must have lived there for continuously for at least 5 years.
So I better move to Malaysia, and then when I'm 27, I might be able to play for them.
Yeah. So, but if because it's like my parents born in England, grandparents born in England. I've lived in England all my life.
Yeah.
I need to take one of those flipping DNA tests.
Yeah. English, 100%.
Yeah, that's what it'll be. And it will be North England. It won't be none of that southern shit.
Yeah, only ever Manchester. That's where all your family ever has ever lived.
Yeah, like I said, I've got cousins in Canada, but I think they are.
Go play with Alfonso Davis.
I think they're like, I don't know what the term is, but they're like so many generations. I think like fifth generation or something like that.
Okay.
It's something like, I think if I remember rightly, it's my nana's mum's sister's children.
Jesus Christ.
Are the ones that live in Canada.
So her cousins.
I think, yeah. So I think they're like my great cousins or something like that. I don't know.
Christ.
It's hard. Oh. It's hard. All this
great cousins.
I don't know.
Well, yeah, we're not going to be playing for the Maldives and Canada, so Maldives. I've just brought Maldives up.
Why not? Let's just play for Maldives.
Why not? Let's go live in Maldives for 5 years and then go do it.
I wouldn't mind it. It's nice out there.
To be fair, yeah, I'd be all right with
it.
That took an interesting turn.
Yeah, but we started waffling.
Maybe in a video we'll do that. What's it called when you swab like your mouth and then send it away and they come back?
Yeah.
Do one of that. Do that in a video.
Yeah, we'll do that. If someone wants to buy it for us or sponsor us and send it to us,
yeah, as a sponsor,
as a sponsor,
let's do one of them kits.
Yeah, we'll do one of them kits. We'll see where we come from, and then we'll see whether we can get nationality and play for a team.
Yeah. We'll email all the boards of those countries for the football,
exactly,
and then see where we can go.
If we find out that we are, 0.2% Bohemian, because we're in the Bahamas, we'll fly there and we'll play a game for the Bahama national team.
We'll try. Yeah,
that I want.
We'll give them a call.
100 likes to do that. 100 likes.
Yeah, right.
100 likes. We go play the 100 likes. We go play in the Bahamas. But I think that's enough waffling because we're starting to waffle now.
Yeah.
And you're eating your chicken.
KFC. That's what a footballer does, isn't it?
Yeah. But that's been us for today this week. Like I would say every week. I would say for every week. Follow me and Declan on Instagram. Follow us both on Twitter. Follow me on TikTok. Don't forget to like the video. Comment down below what you'd like to see on the channel. Comment who you'd like to see on the channel. Subscribe to a free video every week. Turn notifications on to be notified of every video every week. And that is it. Have you got anything else to add?
You ask me this every time and I never do.
Well, that's just in case. Just in case. So that has been us for this week, and we will see you guys next week with another episode. Goodbye.